And without question, it is we who shall survive, living, loving, and laughter shall be all that remains. And it is we, O royal family of mine, eternal beings, to who it is we are, without question, coming from near, coming from far, to you, all of you, sending our love forevermore, forevermore. Yes, I thought that was quite appropriate. Brody, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to read something to you all that I wrote quite some time ago. And I hope you enjoy this as well.
Yeah, the way I want to say that I truly enjoyed it. And thank you.
You're more than welcome. I love you. Thank you. And listen, here we go.
Love you too.
Okay, let's see if we can get this. 1 second. Okay. 1 second. Okay. So, what they have here is a dilemma, because many of them are saying this being has got to die. And why? Because he's telling everything. And then others are saying, hell no, ain't nobody killing him, because after all these years, we have finally found him. This is the child of which we have sought, and now finally we have found. And besides, this man is not committed to us, and to kill him would not be honorable. Plus, how can we be mad at him when he's telling the truth? And where does it say in our manual that we can go around killing people here in America because they are exercising their right to freedom of speech, to which he has a right to, you know? And in this, you all have to know that it's true, because if indeed I am to be with you and you with me, we are all faced with a dilemma. And we are faced with a gift, indeed. I'm talking about and talking to the Illuminati, because I talk about their mother right out on the net, and still I'm here with you all. And to which I know you know that they can kill me anytime they want. And the question becomes, why haven't they? And in fact, I'll tell you why. Because I have more supporters amongst them in some places than I do my very own. And why? Because I come to my own, and my own receiveth me not. And you didn't know? Well, now you do. But these beings, those who I speak of, they are pathetic in their genes, making them, many of them, the pedophiles and perverts that they are. So you see, we are not egotistical, and nor are we needy in our genes, though many may see it different. But who cares, because that is not us, and that's because that spells out bitter and weak, and to which we are weak, not bitter, never, not as a people, because most of our people lack the type of good sense to be bitter, which is a sense of entitlement that says we should have more. And all things originated with us. And so we should have better. And that we should not have to go through all this crap in the first place, because we are the Most High's chosen people. And of all the natural resources belonging to us, because all the diamonds, the gold, the oil, was put right up underneath our feet, not in Europe. And the thing is, here today, they feed off of us and all the things that don't belong to them, and they have stolen from us long ago in more than one way. But either way, still here today, many of them do not feel we are entitled to what belongs to us, mind you. With things like the whole music industry being ran off of our gifts, our talents, blood, sweat, and tears, while all those white light beings who are just out there sit behind the scene and make all the money being made to prosper and being paid right here today even more than us, oftentimes as our music rises to the top of the charts. And why? Because we are alive, still in the face of everything, and they are as close to dead as dead can be. And they know it and show it most times, having no feeling at all and or whatsoever. For these are the very same beings who can watch me and you and your wife too, have right as part of your carpet, as part of your wall, as part of your lampshade, though you know it not. Because you can be anything you wish in the all, and so can they. And these are the very same beings who will pay you to have sex with their wife twice and over again, just so they can be the perverts that they are. But you can't, Now can you? And why? Because your soul won't allow it. Meaning for that to happen and or to take place in no place, but be it the first or the last. My place or yours, because you are alive in places that they are not and can't even grow to be. Whereas though you can see that is what is real and what is right. Even though right now you might not appear to be so front and center with it and might not be nowhere in sight unless you sell your soul to the highest bidder instead of becoming bitter like me and like you just ought to be. Meaning having a sense of entitlement, which is right and the right thing for you to have. And that is because I know it is meant to be, meaning that we rule. Everything is ours in first place. That they stole. They that just came and took and got away with it. Or did they? Meaning, did they really get away with our women and or babies? Big boy and or little girl? I don't think so. But they have a lot going on in a race that is all centered around them. They who are our women and children, for them, they who are asked our command to stay alive and empowered through a fertility that is ours and not theirs, which is why they needed a fertility goddess that is, and at the same time, is not, meaning not right and or Amorite, Jebusite and or Canaanite, and nor could she be Tamahu. I say who, and I'll say, that's right, ISIS. The one, the real one, from 2,000 and so, maybe longer years than that ago, becoming the sacrificial goat. First referred to as Ishtar, then becoming known as Ishtar after her secret alignment with Ishtar in the desert on the way to Tamaray. Participating in the same-sex union act as a sacrificial goat, you know. For what were they going at? I'll tell you what they were going at. They were going at our fertility. That's what the war is being fought over. How many of you know why the bunny rabbit at Easter? And what does the rabbit have to do with the resurrection of the Messiah? And bunny rabbits do not lay eggs. Has anyone ever took the time to think? No. And the reason being is because the secrets have been kept from you, all that concern the science, which is your inheritance. Well, the time is now, and it has finally come wherein inheritantly so you shall be given, and in this shall rise to the point where we can all look and say, finally, it has risen. You see, this life is like kernels of corn. One event leads to another and pushes the next. And you didn't know, but now you do. For I know you all to see it another way, but that doesn't make sense, and or it doesn't matter in certain cases. And nor does it make your perception right and or correct. For if any of you would just take the time to look, you will see what you need to at any green forest. You would take the time to look at, if indeed you took the time to smell the roses. But many of you don't. And in this, you would then see that we are all a part of an intricate whole. And when I say we, I don't mean people alone. I mean everything. The flowers, the birds, the ants, the bees, and the trees, and even unto the very dirt beneath your feet. That's right. Even the dirt beneath your feet that you walk on. And it is a very wonderful thing to really know this, all in its entirety, deep down in your soul. So do you all realize they have told you lies, and now because of it, you here today in your informations just don't know. And meanwhile, at the same time, in time, you just don't know also just how powerful and extensive that makes us in all things. For in truth, we all are part of them. All. The birds, the flowers, the trees, the bees. And like I said, right down to the dirt beneath your feet. But you just can't see, many of you that is, and it is not for us to imagine. It is not for you to imagine. It is not for you not to sit around and think that this does not belong to you, because it does. It is yours. And is it not for us to imagine? I say yes, imagine, because imagination is a beautiful thing, for we are an image-driven nation. And is it not for us to know? I say yes, quite certainly. Right here today, in all of it, meaning all the BS, excuse my French, in a real way, making it to feel empty and in place, and places that hurt, because we don't, or should I say, you all don't know yet. Meaning, have come to embrace the science as it is offered to you. To feel it and to experience it like a child, to which the children know when they play and show themselves to be alive, and you can see it in their eyes, and they, when they cry and light up with such an awe and splendor, like when they take a look at a butterfly and a flower as it blossoms in spring, and when they find a friend by seeing yet another child being born. For it is all a part of us when we all were born also as well. But many of you have forgotten how to get along, just how to relate to each other, and how just to sing a song, when you're sitting there and feeling down, through and by way of what they who are at our command have done to you all. That many of you here today still don't know and still can't recognize, because they have wrecked it up real nicely, yes indeed. And the sad thing is, it seems that over the years nowadays, it's gradually getting lost, that which is the smile and the child in you all. And now, sad but true, it even appears to be happening even faster to you and to the children here today also. It is sad, very sad, when you just stop to think about it. I mean, really think about it. Such innocence lost. And then coming to be forgotten, and here today forgotten in the worst of ways. For this oneness that I now speak of, and all about, maybe it is something that we all should always remember and embrace in the race to the finish line. And it should be remembered for all time and taught to each child to come. Don't you think so? Meaning, no matter what, we as a people have to do what we know. Meaning, no matter, we as a people, no matter where we go, and or may experience whatever we experience in hard times and or just times that are plain old, plain times. Here today also, while we experience and embrace a lot of different things that just don't matter, called the mundane. In its name, it is we who should be sublime all the time as co-creators and the co-creative. While we all use a divine creativity, creatively speaking, so to speak, to cause our nation to rise. After all this time and after all now has come and gone and come and gone and gone to pass, that has taken place and all the things we miss as a race and a nation of people for being stupid. All as they here and you there close the lid on our existence. They being asked our command and you all being unmindful sometimes, arguing and differing amongst each other. They declaring us to be the impurities now that must be cleansed off of the blue rock, declaring us to be threats to public safety, us and our children, while it is them who are impure and imperfect in their existence and so-called wisdom that are not, that is not wisdom at all. And it is they who are not honorable at all, in the all, while they call themselves the honorable Judge so-and-so, who sits on the bench and doesn't even know a tenth of what he should to be there in the first place, sitting in judgment of another, and most times who are not even from his own race, which they call it just us here in America. And I want you all to know that the passion I now speak these things burns to the marrow of mine. And I sense deeply that the thoughts and feelings that you all are having right now in this nation are connected to this purpose. And I'm sure as a people together, there's nothing that we cannot do to get it all done. And in this, we will get it all done. Now, won't we? Yes, I'm sure we will. So is my name, is Joshua. And that maybe it will be through our efforts that these things will be remembered forever, for all times, more and more, and or for an eternity amongst you and me as a people, which is forever. And you all will see it all, in the movies, right there in the future. Because in this, we will take back the vehicles of sight and sound that the devil has used to destroy us and use them for righteous name's sake. Because in this, we then would have come to force change with a greatness as a name. Once again, for us as a people that will be remembered and spoken about forevermore, the same way Rome was made to fall, which was a greater and more powerful nation than America could ever be, and to which, in fact, it is she, meaning America, was created in the image and after the likeness of Rome, therefore, so to speak. That is, who is now roaming all over the place, to which the Romulans know, like it, and in that time also came to love, what a disgrace that must be put away in our race. And I know also for surety that this is an honorable task, being of the highest order in nature. And in fact, it is a task of being the Most High, it is a task that pleases the Most High himself, being all that it needs to be, everything, all at once, perfected, permanently. And this is so because all of us we're all raised on some very good stuff. Don't you think so? That in truth, ancient means ain't sent to them, but sent to us. And ancient is older than time itself because being that time doesn't exist in neither the space because space is always filled. And the truth is, ancient is older than time itself, being the part of us that was given to us a long time ago by our grandmothers and grandfathers and forefathers and family of mine, all royal, while our grandfathers also shared with us their wisdom, which taught us all to know that just so long as our hearts were right, good and fair, that everything was going to be just fine everywhere. And in fact, all coming to be at a perfect time. At a perfect time. Right and on time, every time. With a perfected precision that is and always will be precise, and to which each time, in time, came to pass, being wisdom divine, yours and mine, coming from our bloodline. But that does not mean that in all of this people, all of this, our people, won't miss certain things. That does not mean that in all of this people will not be made to miss, and in so missing, come to die. And in fact, by way of their command, they who are asked our command. And, the assassins who alphabetically do their thing, like what they did to the brother Mu'in and Matin, who alphabetically were assassins. You didn't know? Assassinated. You didn't know? Well, now you do. By the Knights of Templar. Because who do you think the Knights of Templar are? That's right. They're alchemical killers who specialize in killing with the science itself, causing cancer and causing people to die in a way that looks totally natural and or accidental and or worse than you could ever imagine, because these killers are worse than the mafia could ever be. Don't fool yourselves. And whatever they do, according to their own philosophy and or very own standards, whatsoever they do, it has to be honorable, including killing someone like me and you. And why? Because they are made of divine love, or at least they think so, or at least they're supposed to be. Let them tell it. Which is why you have the death penalty here in America, the land of the free, with a justice for all. So help me God. But the question then becomes, whose God? Ours or theirs? Because I just can't help but remember me sitting in my cousin's home the day I received the name Mukhlis, of which you all will become the Mukhlasina. 144,000 of you, not knowingly that you all will not be one, but two, three sets. Two you can see and one you can't. And we'll leave that there. And why? Because that's where it needs to be. The name Mukhlis came to me from my father and was given to me by him. It means pure one. Purification is without question a necessity. But you might ask, purify from what? Because right and wrong are relative things. Better bet if we're having a family reunion and Uncle Good comes, Uncle Evil's going to be there too. He's going to be over in the corner talking while Uncle Good is over in the other corner cracking jokes. And Uncle Eagle, he gonna be talking, that ain't none of that man's wife. And that baby ain't his, and whoop, whoop, whoop. And next thing you know, cause Uncle Eagle, the whole place breaks out in a fight. And meanwhile, you know, the Amorite, they've never had things like this orchestrated against them as they have been orchestrated against us. You know, it's a strange thing to see two people fall in love. I mean, two Nubian people, beautiful, 19, maybe 20, youngsters, in love with each other, Shona. And it's a beautiful thing to see them, you know, marry and go into a home and work hard and earn, you know, what they have, a little computer, a little TV, or whatever have you. And after 90 days, isn't it equally funny to see these two children or two beings fighting like cats and dogs? And they will tear up the whole house, break the computer, and they struggle so hard to get television too. And then at the end of it say, baby, shit, do you realize we did all this over a bag of potato chips? And that's happening all across our land. And why? Because the Nubian woman handman had forgotten what the word relationship means. The word relationship has a root word, which is to relate. And the question then becomes to who? And you might say, to my significant other. And I would say, not if you're not a significant reincarnate. See, because you're not, relating to your significant other unless you are significant reincarnate, and that only occurs when you are looking in the mirror. Because the being on that other side of the mirror is a significant reincarnate too, just like you, and looks like you in every way. But that is a mirror image, not a true mirror. And what I will say is, isn't it ironic that, people can write a double V and not see that it is not a W? But many of you will write the W, the right way. But it's equally ironic that if that image in the mirror looks just like you and won't smile until you do, or blink its eye until you blink your eye, that when you write something down and hold it up, it's seen as backwards, which should let you all know something is definitely wrong here, because you don't spell wrong, W-R-O-N-G. Whoever told you that was lying to you. Wrong is spelled R-O-N-G all day long. And many of you have embraced these lies. Why? Because you're raised in a society that condones it. I'm talking about it's all right to lie to your children. It don't matter. I ain't bothering nobody. Teach them Santa Claus and this, that, and the third. Even if you want to prove it Children's Day. That's a very good thing to do. But you got to come as a herd, as a family, to make a difference. You realize agreements is what made everything that is the name that it is today. Many thousands of people came together and said, this color is blue. If we wanted to change it today to yellow, we could. We could do just that. If enough of us in numbers stood together. Better to stand together than to stand apart, I'm sure, and I'm sure you all are sure too, because there's strength in numbers. But there's no strength in being castrated. When something of this nature is orchestrated against you by the NSA and CIA and the FBI. Now watch this. Because you have NSA, FBI, CIA, NBC,
ATUN-RE The mobile customer you have called does not answer. Please try your call again later. ATUN-RE The mobile customer you have called.
I don't know what that is, where it's coming from.
Please try your call again later.
I don't know where it's coming from either.
Quite interesting.
Now, I'll get back to what I was saying. It's sad that you can see that the NBA, NFL, CIA, FBI, NBC, CBS are all part of the same team. Anybody who sits down and will take hours, first off, let me explain what I mean. We do not demonstrate our power as a people. That's a demon coming straight at you. We display our power for all eyes to see. Like all eyes on me is what Tupac said. And we say all eyes on Egypt in terms of my father's store. And you didn't know Baba wrote all those words that Tupac, delivered. Yeah, he moved that hand. You think he didn't when he did? Huh. But you don't know. Many of you anyway. Maybe you do. And if you do, that's a blessing to know what ATUN-RE can do. Well, let me tell you, without question, we'll say all eyes on Tamara, because we're not Egyptian. Did you know that from the word Egyptian to the word ego? Did you know that? And that's real. Don't believe me, check it out. I'm going to tell you just like this, and I'm going to tell you show enough, show. Now, without question, Egypt came from the word Egyptos, which is what our children called the Greeks while in our land. They said, Egyptos, making fun of them, which meant bird face. No, that wasn't us. But it had to be delivered that way because in alchemy there are three basic rules. Learn them, know them, embrace them, own them, wrap your mind around them because they are yours. One, the smallest things carry the most power. Two, that which is not must be presented first for that which is to be and exists. Did you all hear that? That which is not must be presented first in order for that which is to exist. That's like I come giving you what you want so that you'll be prepared to receive what it is I came to give. Figure it out. Figure it out. And then the third one is you must master the difference between looking and seeing because all things are relevant. Everything. And nothing is excluded from the software, meaning literally everything around you has a property, and its properties must be known, studied, and developed. And I want to say this to you without question. The science is forever. Forever. And it is a consuming thing that you will never get to know if indeed you don't really want to. Because it takes all of you. All of you. Everything that you have to master, it will demand. If indeed you participate correctly, long hours of enduring and following orders, because I am merely a being who will take you a distance with the science and then drop you where Chakuti will pick you up himself when the students are ready. And I want to say this, that indeed you all are in for a beautiful, beautiful gift and surprise. Oh, it is a beautiful thing. And without question, to see Baba and grandfather work together, without question, it is
two masters at work. And we are here to reteach you all just what it is that once belonged to you, which is the science of self, whose actions, movement, and design is perfect in every way, in ways that words cannot explain and or deny and or describe. For when we, at the top flight, Grand Master, Masters, alchemists that we are, sit down and go for glory in this forum, which belongs to us, how can we lose in any way when losing within itself is not our name